And now it's my honor to recognize the gentleman from the Sunshine State and the best Florida podcaster, Congressman Matt Gaetz.
Does it feel sometimes like we're living in a crazy sci-fi movie where powerful entities and interests are trying to control what we see and what we hear and what we read because they ultimately want to dominate what we think and how we behave? My fellow Americans, there is a broad effort underway to deplatform, demonetize, and destroy anyone who has a conservative, America First perspective. We've seen this with Newsmax, with One America News. We saw Google work to demonetize the Federalist. And my question is this: when did we become so frail as a country? When did we take the position that if we saw something we didn't agree with, that somehow that would dehumanize us and limit our ability to participate in meaningful dialogue? I think we became that frail when the left started to say that words were violence, which they are not. Speech is what liberates us from violence. It gives us an alternate path, but people get frustrated and concerned when they see that the choices that they want to make in telecommunications or the digital world are deemed unacceptable by the powers that be. And when did this realignment happen? I remember when I was in school, it was always the liberals, the classical liberals, that wanted this robust marketplace of ideas, and it was a few conservatives who didn't want you to see certain things or look at certain things or read certain things. And now it's totally flipped the script because they have such a low view of our fellow Americans. So what are we going to do about it? The Energy and Commerce Committee should be holding hearings on this. The Department of Justice, antitrust entities should be looking into whether or not this is too much of a concentration of power in entities like AT&T and DirecTV that are stifling Newsmax and One America News and even Google's terrible work to try to demonetize the Federalist. And I also believe that in the House Judiciary Committee, we should ask these questions seriously and encourage the Department of Justice to take action. And by the way, if you're a shareholder out there in AT&T, I would encourage you to pursue a derivative suit. Why is it that some of these woke-topians that sit on these boards and these senior leadership positions are devaluing the stock that you own, limiting access to popular channels because they don't like the viewpoint, and they don't like you, and they don't care about an America where the values that undergird the Constitution are more important than the terms of service that we see at big tech companies. I thank my colleague Ken Buck for having led on these issues for many years, and there's much work ahead for the Biden administration, for Article III courts, and for this very Congress. I yield back.
I thank